The sun never stops shining. The student never stops learning. A very warm welcome to everyone on this beautiful morning. Today, we are here to talk about the impacts of COVID 19 on the outlook of people. We have Mrs. Anuradha Sardesh Pandey as our keynote speaker. Welcome, ma'am. From our partner Sudesha School, we have Principal Ms. Birangana Maharajan, Coordinator Mr. Agni Prasad Tamil Sinha, Social Studies Discipline Head and Activity in Charge Mrs. Binda Thapa. We are greatly honored to have you all. From Modern School, we have Director Ma'am Mrs. Neeru Kapai, Principal Ma'am Mr. Pali Day, Manager Sir Mr. Rohan Kapai, and IDS Coordinators Mrs. Shabana Ali and Mrs. Rizwan Ali. Your presence means a lot to us. We are glad to have you all. I hope you all enjoyed the event while we students spread the magic by our presentations. And before that, I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce our keynote speaker for the day, who is none other than Mrs. Anuradha Sardesh Pandey. She passed MA English Literature from Jivaji University, Gwalior in the year 1986. She obtained postgraduate certificate in the teaching of English in the year 1988 from Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, Hyderabad. From her long list of achievements, I would like to focus on some of them. She was awarded the PCRA Award for Excellence for the Best Essay at state and national level in essay writing competition in teachers category organized by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas in 2001. The topic was Petroleum Conservation, a Social Responsibility. She also received Guru Gaurav Appreciation Award for contribution in the field of education at the hands of Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra, Honorary Chancellor, Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, Karad in January 2019. She received Teacher of the Year Award for valuable contribution in the field of education instituted by Silver Zone Foundation, New Delhi for 2012-13. She possessed professional strengths like excellent leadership qualities and team building skills, follow strict instructions regarding school vision and mission statement, and great organizational and monitoring skills. Anuradha ma'am, we are honored to have you today with all of us. I request you to please share your thoughts with us.
A warm good morning to all the dignitaries present on the days virtually, and my dear students who are there for today's symposium. I would like to extend a special thanks to Modern School, especially Director Ma'am, Mrs. Neeru Kapai, Principal Ma'am, Ms. Rupali Day, and the school manager, Mr. Rohan Kapai, for having given me this beautiful opportunity to participate in this important discussion on the impact of COVID-19 in the lives of people. As you all know, dear students, that COVID-19 has profoundly changed our lives, causing tremendous human suffering and challenging the most basic foundations of societal well-being. Beyond the immediate impacts on health, jobs and incomes, the epidemic is increasing people's anxiety and worry, affecting their social relations, their trust in other people and in institutions, their personal security and sense of belonging. The pandemic has resulted in death, illness, isolation, anxiety, uncertainty, unemployment, domestic violence, and severe depression. COVID-19 has rapidly affected our day-to-day life. Businesses disrupted the world trade and movements. Most of the countries have slowed down their manufacturing of the products. The various industries and sectors are affected by the cause of this disease. These include the pharmaceuticals industry, solar power sector, tourism, information and electronics industry. This virus has created significant knock-on effects on the daily life of citizens as well as about the global economy. Not taking too much of my address, we all particularly would like to hear from you, dear students, your opinion on the topic for today's symposium. So I request Shabana ma'am and Rizwana ma'am to please go ahead with the proceedings.
Thank you, ma'am. We were honored to have you, ma'am. Uh,
Thank you.
Now, the names of each participant will be called out, and we'll request you to present your work. From Nepal, we have Ishan Adhikari.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you all to combined partner program between Sudesai School and Modern School. Myself is an Adhikari, and I am the student of Sudesai School. So today I am going to present a presentation on the impact of COVID-19 on the outlook of people towards life. So I know that many of you have questioned what is coronavirus. Coronavirus is an infection disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. The ratio of people suffering from coronavirus is high. With this, we can analyze that how rapidly coronavirus is spreading in whole over the world. The virus is mainly transmitted through droplets generated when an infected person coughs, sneezes, or exhales. These droplets are heavily to hang in the air and quickly fall on the floors or surface. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover with special treatment. Moving on to the next slide. So COVID-19 impact on the life of citizens of Uganda and Nepal. So yes, COVID-19 has highly affected citizens of Uganda and Nepal for in their lifestyle. COVID-19 has gave a lot of pressure on the economic of Nepal and Uganda being economical challenge country. It has been tough for handling the economic and several sectors like health, education, and tourism. The dramatic change has been occurred because of COVID-19. Negative impact on health sector. Many governments in Africa took measures to combat the spread of COVID-19. However, some of the measures totally disrupt the special chain and health care service delivery system as all effort were focused on COVID-19. Government divert personnel and resources away from priority diseases. Patients with HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, cancer, and also mental health, maternal or childhood condition faced an increased risk of complication and death due to inability to access health care because of transport curfew and fear of contracting the virus from healthcare setting. Yes, Uganda and Nepal has suffered a lot in health sector because many people have been suffering from coronavirus in Uganda and Nepal, and due to lockdown and curfew, many people cannot get a good health service from both country Nepal and Uganda. But in case of Uganda, it was very clear that local government health planners were providing a health service to the Uganda citizen. In Nepal, many hospitals were 24 hours working for the coronavirus patient for their treatment. Moving on to next slide. These are some picture of Uganda and Nepal in where many citizens are been getting a PCR checked for corona disease. Impact of tourism in context of Nepal. As you know, Nepal is a tourism country. Nepal is a developing country. Nepal highly generate economic from agriculture and tourism. And when many tourism place and heritage of Nepal are being closed due to lockdown and curfew, the economic source of Nepal was getting down. Nepal has organized, as we all know, Nepal has organized Visit Nepal 2021, which was going to help and grow Nepal economic sector in tourism sector. But many country government declared about lockdown, and Nepal was suffering from loss in tourism sector. In case there was not in case when there was not COVID-19, Nepal might get high profit from this project because the government of Nepal and citizen of Nepal has highly planned for profit in tourism from this Visit Nepal 2021. Nepal is also rich in tourism place and heritage place. Nepal might get much profit in their economic. In context of Uganda, in Uganda, the tourism sector is major source of employment, government revenue, and foreign exchange earning. Without this vital sector, the economic may experience a dramatic contraction in GDP and a rise in unemployment. In 2018, tourism was the number one foreign exchange on generating over US dollar 1.6 billion for forex and employed close to 7 lakh men and women and youth. So it is both similar in context of Nepal and Uganda. Both country on more profit yearly due to tourism sector, and due to the lockdown many countries are been locked down and suffering from curfew, so many tourists cannot visit both countries, Uganda and Nepal. So both countries were suffering from loss in tourism sector. Impact of education sector in context of Uganda. The nationwide lockdown left 15 billion children out of school. He COVID-19 pandemic poses serious threats to the access of education in Uganda, and innovative solutions are needed to support this sector and ensure the continued education in rural population. As the pandemic continues, education in poorer rural area will be hit the hardest due to undraily disparities. In context of Nepal, as the consequences of the lockdown, school and universities in Nepal have been temporarily closed for nearly 2 months now. As of second week of May 2021, UNESCO 2020 estimates that nearly 9 million students in Nepal are affected due to school university scholars in response to the pandemic. Yes, Uganda and Nepal has been affected in education because both are in developing countries. So many students were due to lockdown and curfew, many students were not able to go to their school and get better education. Both are developing countries, so there are not proper facility of internet in many sector. Many rural areas students were not properly getting education, and private is private and public students, school students were not properly facilitated with online education. Positive impact of COVID-19. Beyond the diseases, reducing effort of social distancing, children and families are taking advice on hand washing, personal hygiene, and other prevention measures seriously. The public is seeing why public health officials have advised them stay home when they feel sick, for example, and why they emphasize hand washing and covering a cough or sneeze. Kids growing up now will know this how germs are spreaded, and also this COVID-19 positive impact where children and families member were getting time to share their problems and things. They were getting time to be together. The in country pollution were decreasing, and many youth were getting chance to know many new things through online education. Thank you.
Thank you, Ishan. Shreya Gimire, you can start presenting.
Good morning, myself Sarina Gimide. I'm a grade 10 student of Sudisha School. I would like to share about the impact of COVID-19 on the outlook of people to our life. COVID-19, coronavirus (CoV) are a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases such as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome and severe acute respiratory syndrome. A novel coronavirus is a new strain that has not been previously identified in humans. COVID was outbreak on December 31 on 2019. It has affected drastically on the early bodily life of human beings. COVID-19 impact of the life COVID-19 impact on the life of citizens of Bangladesh and Nepal. Being a developing country, it has been a tough to fight against COVID. Nepal and Bangladesh has suffered a lot in several sectors like tourism sector, education sector, health sector. Bangladesh and Nepal, a country lying in Asia who has been struggling economically. Each and every day, the cases of COVID-19 has put in a country in a lots of loss. Negative impacts on health sector. The COVID-19 pandemic means that many of us are staying at homes and doing less in terms of social interaction and exercise. This can have a negative effect on your physical and mental health. In Nepal, many of people are jobless now, due to which they have been facing a lots of health problem or challenge mentally, which led to the several issues of depression, which put them in the decision of taking suicide. The COVID-19 pandemic had a massive impact on health care system, increasing the risk of psychological distress in the health professional in Bangladesh and Nepal. Not only on mental health, it has affected, but also on physical health. This is the picture of health sector. Impact on tourism. In the context of Nepal, after confirmation of the second important cases on 23rd March, the government locked the country down and suspended all the national and international flights. Massive cancellation of hotel and tourist booking followed, resulting in widespread unemployment, loss of income, and threatened livelihoods for thousands. The collapse of international and domestic tourism followed a 2% drop in tourist arrivals in January 2020 compared to 2019. Over 10,000 tourists who had entered Nepal before the lockdown was also left stranded, although many of them eventually repatriated. In the context of Bangladesh, the countrywide lockdown imposed by the government led to the closure of hotels, motels, restaurants, and transport sector activities, as well as cancellation of all domestic and international flights to and from Bangladesh, resulting in huge losses in this sector. Even though the lockdown has been gradually withdrawn since June 2020, this sector is still susceptible to the adverse effect of COVID-19 pandemic in long run, considering the incessant spread out of this deadly virus. COVID-19 impact on education sector. The pandemic spread of novel coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, has significantly disrupted every aspects of human life, including education. The alarming spread of the virus caused a havoc in the educational system, forcing educational institutions to shut down. According to a UNESCO report, 1.6 billion children across 191 countries have been severely impacted by the temporary closure of the educational institution. In order to mitigate the impact, educational institutions have been responded to the closure differently in different contexts, with a range of sorry for disruption, with a range of options for students, teachers, managers, and parents, depending on the resources, both materials and human, available to them. Most of the options have to incorporate innovative in technologies, example like digital and mobile technologies, combined with the traditional technologies such as radio and TV, in order to provide at least some form of educational continuity. Positive impact of COVID-19. This COVID has introduced a lots of apps which are beneficial for the people and connect all the people of world within the one small area. It has helped us in knowing technology invention briefly, traveling and exploring without leaving your comfort zone, home and room. Though there are lots of negative impacts of COVID in education, but also education has not been stopped. It has been running smoothly with the help of technologies. Several communicable diseases except COVID has been reducing because of social distancing, and airborne disease has been also minimized because of habit of wearing masks. Lockdown has bring a lots of change in environment. We can see a clean and pollution free environment during the pandemic. This was the environment of Kathmandu during pandemic and the Dhaka during pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saranya. Now from Modern School India, we have Krupai Sharma. You can start presenting your work.
Good morning, everyone. Suprabhat. My name is Paul Sharma. I am from Modern School and I study in 12th B. I have made a poster and my topic is Impact of COVID-19 on the Outlook of People. Now, I would like to present my poster. COVID-19 has affected everyone abruptly, but nobody saw this coming. You can't plan for it. It hits and you react. As you can see, the poster depicts that many industries have benefited from COVID and many have not. The tourism industry, the hospitality industry, sports industry, entertainment industry, real estate, and many more had a great loss. But at the same time, agriculture industry and hospitals have profited a lot. Many other problems also came up, like education became online, which held children at home. Corruption increased, Lots of people lost their jobs. Everyone was told stay home, stay safe. But because of this, people on the inner side were depressed, lonely, and some people took very drastic steps too. But on the positive side, many people started doing things which they never imagined they would do. Many learned to self motivate. At the end, I just want to say that no matter what happens, the show must go on, and so does the life, but with precautions. It might be stormy now, but rain doesn't last forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Krupai. Next, we have Astha Vakare from Modern School.
Very warm good morning, all present over here. So, myself, Asta Vakhare. I am the undersigned student of a modern school from class B. COVID-19 pandemic has led to a drastic loss of human life worldwide, and thus it caused the economic, mental, physical, and the social disruption, which is devastating. It is destructive and very harmful to us. Not a single thing is left unaffected in the worldwide. Digital gadgets and the technologies plays an important role in this pandemics. Students were turned online, offline to online education. The working people, they started working from their homes. This caused an immense use of digital gadgets in our daily life. There was an huge loss in education for lower and the middle class people, as they were not able to afford it, or the people who are employed on their daily wages, they lost their jobs, their daily income. Tourism has been stopped for the people, though it is good for us. The one of the thing which we affected was our entertainment, for just like picnic spots, theaters, water park, malls, etc., and many more things or the places. They were the sort of entertainment for us which was been stopped or the closed in this pandemics. Thank you.
Thank you, Astha. Next is Arpit Madhure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Arpit Madhuri from Modern School, Nagpur, India. Okay, impact of COVID-19 on our economy. Corona has a great impact over the countries and the world economy. The GDP and the share market graph are at a decreasing level, and as a result, it leads to increase in prices of almost every product. Petrol has crossed almost 100 rupees per liter. Cooking oil is 200 rupees per liter, and for the every product we could talk of. Corona has a great degrading impact on the economy. Now, if we move towards the impact of COVID on the common people life, it has hit hard. Many people have lost their jobs and many are still losing. The only one can survive who has a stiffened bank balance maintained earlier than COVID. Due to increase the prices of products, common people have started losing their interest towards the things they have in life. Saving every penny is worth in this COVID situation. As we all know, earlier we would have enjoyed offline classes with our teachers, with our friends, and we could have share our food and we could play sports together. But now the entire stuff has gone online, which would have many harmful hazards, weakening of the eyes of children, health issues, and many more. Children are addicted towards phone and they spend most of the time using phone. Also, the online classes are not so effective as offline classes, as we could not interact with the emotions of our teachers. Now, if we talk about the impact of COVID on the very poor people, daily wage earners and the small scale businessmen are in a great trouble, as we could not imagine the pain. They do not have even a green at their homes. Also, they don't have no work to do in this lockdown. The street vendor who would sell fast food have no work to do. Therefore, they are in a very great trouble. As we have all seen, human life is at risk. Thousands of our friends have lost their lives, ranging from the legendary celebrities to the common men. I would not take much time on this topic as it sounds quite depressing. So we could talk about the warriors in the global pandemic: the army men, the cleaning workers, also the doctors and nurses, media, and of course our teachers played a very vital role in this COVID situation. Therefore, I would like to conclude my topic by saying that love is stronger than COVID. We need to defeat COVID and overcome it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arpit. Next, we have Saida Amina Kazi from Modern School.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amna Kazi from 12th A, and today I prepared a poster on the topic Effects of COVID-19 on the Outlooks of People Towards Life. The COVID-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic loss of human life worldwide and presents an unprecedented challenge to public health, food system, and world of work. As we can see from the poster, COVID has affected almost every aspect of life, including social, economical, physiological, psychological, and the list just goes on. There has been a great impact of COVID-19 on educational system as classes are being held online. As the coronavirus pandemic rapidly sweeps across the world, it is inducing a considerable degree of fear, worry, anxiety among the population in large and among certain groups in particular, that is the older adults with underlying health condition. As we can see from the graph, COVID-19 is responsible for at least 3 million excess deaths in 2020. And as of 31st December 2020, COVID-19 has infected over 82 million people and killed more than 1.8 million worldwide. Although all age groups are at risk of contracting COVID-19, older people are vulnerable and face significant risk of developing severe illness. Because of COVID, many people have lost their jobs and have come to a stage of unemployment which has affected their lifestyle. Lastly, I would like to say that this is a hard time for everyone. Humans across the world are sharing this experience with you. Helping others in need is both crucial to get through this well, and it also creates a purpose to our days. I would like to conclude it. The world needs huge positive energy to fight against these negative forces. So go to the center of your inner being and generate that positive energy for the welfare of the humanity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Amina. Next, we have Suraj Dhande from Modern School.
A warm and healthy good morning to all of you. Myself, Suraj Dhande from Modern School. Thank you to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to participate in today's program. After the first person in Wuhan, China found infected, the situation started becoming worse. The widespread of unusual pneumonia was found in thousands of people in Wuhan. China alerted WHO and called for inspection. And the experts found that the virus affecting people named novel coronavirus. Then WHO shut the seafood market in Wuhan. But this was too little, too late. Now the virus was spread in almost all the Asian countries. Due to rising number of deaths worldwide, on March 11, 2020, WHO announced novel coronavirus a global pandemic, which resulted in the lockdown in almost all the countries and the shutdown in international market, and this caused the crash in global economy, which directly affected the lives of people. In countries like India, Africa, people below poverty level were starving due to lockdown as they were out of their jobs, and significant reduction in income and rise in unemployment was a major factor in crash in global economy. Effect on education can be clearly seen. COVID-19 crisis has caused the schooling go online and no other way. During 2020, children spent more time online than ever before. As education moved online, about 1.5 billion children all around the world were affected by the school closure. Effect on mental health. COVID-19 has also resulted in increase in stress, anxiety, and depression among elderly people. There were many cases of mental health increased due to isolation and loneliness. Also, violence against women and girls were increased by 30%, which included physical, sexual, and psychological harassment. Last but not the least, let's check out some of the positive effects of COVID on the world. Due to the higher risk of getting infected, people have changed a lot from their eating habits to their sleeping habits. They have become more health conscious, and nowadays, most of the people avoid the junk food to maintain the positive health. We can also clearly see that the numerous positive effects on the environment has came. 25% of carbon emission and 50% of nitrogen emission has reduced significantly. Digitization as a result of COVID-19. We all are very well known that COVID-19 pandemic rapidly sent millions of people to work from home, which gave rise to online means of organization, widely used today. Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj. Next, we have Purab Sandalwar.
Very good morning to all the dignitaries present. I am Purab Sandalwar of Modern School, Nagpur, India, virtually in front of you to speak about the effects of COVID through my posters. COVID-19 had a measurable impact on outlook of people. This virus not only shed the humanitarian protection layer, but also proved humanity can be on the verge of extinction if nature is not handled properly. From death, separations, to cement situations, and it went worse. But in this time, there were a group of people which added their services for betterment, namely the COVID warriors. These people selflessly worked out their responsibilities to make the countries COVID free. At the time of pandemic, COVID warriors were the ones who remained most vulnerable to the deadly disease, along with their families and children. From children, we jump up to the education system in COVID. As we all know, during pandemic, education was completely dependent on technology and went online. Yes, that implies that children who can't afford a bit of technology, they can't afford education. But not only for education, technology was implemented everywhere, from
बोल
ordering
बुद्धि
groceries to keeping in touch with colleagues
बोल
and friends.
भाई पट्टी
Internet turned out to be need of the hour. Also, it was a healthy opportunity for big tech companies and startups to build systems and earn profit. But this wasn't the case for India, as it is under growth in terms of tech. India is still seen as an agriculturalist country, as most of its GDP is generated through it. Unlike tech, agricultural sectors received adverse impact on COVID.
कैसा बोला
Survey finding indicates that the pandemic has affected production
सही
and
में
marketing through labor and logistical constraints, like the negative income shock, restricted access to the markets, and increased price of food commodities affecting the consumption pattern. At the end, I would like to talk about positive impact of COVID towards the nature. The implementation of lockdown led to the improvement of air quality index by making it 20% less contaminated than before. Also, many rivers were also cleaned on their own as the public interaction was restricted. At the end, I would like to conclude by thanking you all for listening me so patiently. I urge you all to stay positive, take all necessary precautions as the pandemic is not over yet. Thank you.
Thank you, Purab. Next, we have Shreya Ninjay.
Good morning to one and all present here. As I have presented in my poster, due to pandemic, many new changes had been introduced in our life. One of the most impactful change is introduction of term new normal. As you all are aware, the term is about the changes which we have to follow probably throughout the life. Wearing masks, keeping social distance, and washing or sanitizing our hands time to time are some of new concepts of work from home due to restrictions placed in pandemic. All kinds of administrative work and teaching are to be taken over online platform while other digital devices. This has not our work. People now are expected to work anytime and anywhere. There are they are to follow up schedules and deadlines in more pressure. Their personal space and work space have so collided with each other that it is hard to separate. This has put upon a lot of psychological pressure on people. The stress and anxiety level among the working class in such situation seems to be increasing, quite opposite to all negative impacts that humans have to face during this pandemic. The earth is our ecosystem. The earth, that is our ecosystem, have gained a lot of benefits. Contrary miserable miserable circumstances, the earth has been repairing itself with a good speed. The depletion of ozone layer over the earth, which was thought to be a danger, is no longer a threat itself. It has observed that the layer has been repairing itself over the year in which people are globally locked down. Global warming temperature seems to be lower as the carbon percentage in atmosphere has reduced a huge deal. People, ex- people, extents and wastage of resources were also dramatically reduced over the non-motion period. Even though the ecosystem has been benefited in the pandemic, there are still some negative impacts to it. But as you all know, there are sides of every coin. This is bound to happen. Thus, I would like to end my speech on this special thought. If you can stay positive in a negative situation, you win. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. Next, we have Rajlakshmi Suryavanshi.
Hello everyone, I am Rajlakshmi Suryavanshi from 12th A Modern School. I'll be presenting a poster about the impact of COVID-19 on several aspects of our life. The first COVID case in India was reported on 27th of January 2020. Since then, the graph of the infected people has not been constant. Till now, COVID-19 has had both negative and positive impact on our lives. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the negative impact on economy. Under complete lockdown, less than a quarter of India's $2.8 trillion economic movement was functional. Up to 53% of businesses in the country were projected to be significantly affected. A large number of farmers around the country who grow perishables also faced uncertainty. Young startups have been negatively affected as funding has fallen. India's travel and tourism sector, which accounts for nearly 2.5% of the GDP, has made repeated appeals to the government seeking support for travel and tourism businesses tottering on the brink of collapse due to the coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic caused significant job losses in the tourism sector, lost economy in terms of tourism expenditure. Projects that total recovery may only happen in 3 to 4 years assesses the loss to household incomes and contains recommendation for the revival of the tourism sector. Now on lifestyle. COVID-19 has an impact of people's lifestyle all around the world. Many people have become physically inactive and have established irregular eating patterns, which contributes to unhealthy lifestyles and the aggravation of lifestyle-related diseases, which in turn worsens the COVID-19 severity. The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in a significant loss of human life all around the world, and it poses an unprecedented threat to public health, food system, and the workplace. The pandemic's economic and social effects are devastating. Tens of millions of people are at risk of falling into extreme poverty. And according to WHO's report, the number of people who are undernourished, which is presently estimated to be around 690 million, might rise to 132 million by the end of the year. In terms of work and economy, nearly half of the world's 3.3 billion workers are at danger of losing their jobs. And laborers in the informal economy, such as daily wage workers, are more vulnerable since they lack social security and access to adequate healthcare, as well as productive assets. Many people are unable to feed themselves and their family during the lockdown because they lack means to earn a living. For most people, no money equals no food, or at the very least, less food that is less nutritious. Now, moving on to the fatality rate. Due to the coronavirus, the fatality rate elevated from 2.48% to 5.42% globally. Now, let's move on to the education and mental health. Since the pandemic began, schools, colleges, and universities started taking classes online. This had a negative impact on mental health of the students. With no social interaction, people are suffering from depression and anxiety. As a student myself, being stuck in four walls and in front of the screen most of the time has made me feel distressed. As per the record, the positive impact of COVID-19 was on climate change. India was among several countries in the world where greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide emission from fossil fuels combustion reduced due to lockdowns imposed to contain the coronavirus pandemic. Initial studies suggest that while the lockdown slowed the carbon dioxide accumulation in the atmosphere, it may not reduce the overall atmospheric concentration of the element. There is significant improvement in air quality as the drop in nitrogen dioxide levels that coincide with the reduced traffic and industrial activity during lockdown. Satellite data shows a reduction of 40 to 50% in nitrogen levels in 2020. That was it from my side. I hope you all have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raj Lakshmi. Next, we have Nidhi Boyer.
Good morning to all present here. I am Nidhi Boye from 12th C, Modern School, Nagpur, India. I am going to present and talk about the impact of COVID-19 on people's outlook towards life. The unexpected COVID-19 pandemic has changed people's lifestyle, not the same as it was before 2020. It caused economic as well as social disruption. It caused economic as well as social disruption, resulting in loss of human life worldwide, presenting a challenge to health issues, food systems, and the working world. It led to nationwide lockdown in many countries, which forced people to stay in their homes, which lasted for months. Each and every section of the society was affected due to the outbreak, such as young ones who couldn't have outdoor activities, schools, and suffered through boredom. Old age people suffered being lonely and at one place. Frontline workers, they were away from their families and had to take a huge risk of being outside. Poor ones, they had no work and thus no source of income, no shelter, and even hard to have one meal a day. Businessmen, they had to shut down their business, hence no customers, and they had a clash down in their profit. To take precautions precautionary steps so that its impact doesn't increase, government had put up few restrictions and rules, such as travel restrictions, restrictions from getting out of the home. All these had consequences on the life of the society, such as unemployment, no source of income, no entertainment, such as parks, theaters, etc., which made everyone so lifeless, dull, and panicked. Besides this, technology played a vital role in everyday life during pandemic, which helped to restart and continue life activities such as studies, business meetings, trading, connecting with loved ones, shopping, etc., which wasn't possible in this period physically. The technology and networking didn't really pave the way of living normal lifestyle because technology can't replace the physical activities and the touch. But still, it said that it's better to have something than nothing. This technology and networking was just an alternative in the pandemic. The outbreak of the pandemic had affected people physically and mentally too. Being at a place, workless, having nothing to do made people stressed, empty-minded, anxious, irritated and full of unhealthy thoughts, especially the ones who had to live alone in the period. But on the positive side, many tried to learn new things, enriched quality what they had earlier, and learned the preciousness of being with their family. On one hand, where the richer ones didn't really had that much effect as compared to the poor ones who had severely affected on their lives as there was unequal distribution of the income in the sections of the society. Hence, during COVID, there were many helping hands for the one who were immensely suffering by supporting for their sheltering, food for a day, and etc. necessities. This 1.5 year had been so pathetic, painful, disturbing for all, but we can't stop everything. As the pandemic is continuing, everyone has started accepting the new normal life. Mask on every time, sanitizing every time, maintaining and following norms and conditions for better future. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. Next, we have Himang Karya.
Good morning everyone. I am Himang Karya of class 12C of Modern School Nagpur, India. And today I am going to lay emphasis on the impact of COVID-19 on different aspects of life for which I have prepared a presentation. The COVID-19 outbreak had a massive impact on every country and India wasn't left unaffected. A nationwide lockdown was initiated in March 2020 which affected people from all walks of life financially, socially and mentally. The education system changed immensely from offline to online education. Not every child could afford the electronic gadgets required for online learning and were left behind the privileged ones. Many restrictions applied by the authorities brought a change in the lives of the rich, the middle class, and the poor. Masks and sanitizers, which were merely used by the common public before, now became necessities of life and played a huge part in our lives. Business activities. Many businesses were shut down as a result of the lockdown restrictions and all business meetings and other activities turned online. The lockdown restrictions confined people in their four walls which led to loneliness, depression, anxiety, stress, etc. Among the global population and the general population of India. Frontline workers. As the world is battling the pandemic, frontline workers including the doctors, the police force are among the most vulnerable groups at the risk of mental health problems. They have suffered from insomnia, anxiety, and burnout due to excessive workloads, and they often faced a stigma from the community and their families. Of all the sections of society, the poor communities took the biggest blow. Due to income inequalities, the rich became richer and the poor fell deeper into poverty. Migrant laborers lost their jobs and they had to go back to their villages. Philanthropists came as saviors for the needy and impoverished and did some really kind acts like providing them with food and other basic amenities of life. The jobless migrant laborers were also transported back to their villages through trucks, buses, etc. COVID-19 also came with some positive effects as the air became clearer and the environment became greener because people stayed indoors. The climate in the major cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata also was seen to be reduced. I would like to conclude by saying that this past year and a half has not been one to be remembered something for. It has only brought misery in the lives of people, as many lost their loved ones, jobs, and even their homes. These are the times when we all should stick together, try to have a positive mindset, and follow all the rules and regulations and stay safe and protected. We'll definitely get through these unhappy and melancholic times. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation and wish you all a very nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamam. We next have Harshita Bongiri.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Harshita Bongiri from Class 12A Modern School, Nagpur. Today, I am here to present a PPT on the outlook of the people towards COVID-19 and the changes that COVID-19 brought in their life. Let's begin with the PPT. The COVID-19 pandemic, known as the novel coronavirus, had led to dramatic loss of human life worldwide and presented an unprecedented challenge to public health, food system, and the world of work. The economic and the social disruption caused by the pandemic is devastating. An estimate study shows that more than 10 million people were at the risk of falling into extreme poverty, while the number of undernourished people currently estimated to be nearly 690 and would be increased by 130 million by the end of the year. The COVID-19 pandemic had brought up many changes in our life, positive and negative. The industrial sector, the working policy, the paying system, the education sector, and many more have had to make immense changes in order to survive and grow in the devastating situation. The government restriction and lockdown imposition has caused a huge effect on our day-to-day life and working. The unemployment level increased, the fall in GDP, the tourism sector shut down, people without work, and a lot more. Social gatherings were prohibited, people were home isolated. Let's start with the negative impacts. Millions of entrepreneurs had to face the extreme threat of closure, the shutdown, trade restriction, and confinement measure had to lead to dramatic loss to the whole economy. Nearly 3.3 million of global force was at the risk of losing their livelihood, and many lost their job in the midst of pandemic. With no income, no productive asset, the poverty ratio increased, trending, and for most of them, no income means no food, or less nourished food, which lead to an increase in the poverty level in the whole economy. In this situation, the population configuration had suffered a huge hit. According to the reports, 190 million people were affected by the virus, and nearly 5 million of them have lost their lives. But with the government initiative and coordination of health sector, the public, nearly 3.5 million billions of public is vaccinated today, and the process is going on. The mental health of the people because of the home isolation have been affected immensely. The home isolation had created a great impact. Due to increased cases of virus, the threat and the stress and anxiety and depression, even youngsters were facing the problems of depression and had hard times. But with family support, they were able to cope up with the situation. The food habit, the food cycle, and consumption showed a lot changes in this pandemic. Before pandemic, we all used to love street food, and nobody can imagine their life. But the hit of pandemic had changed everything. People have been more health conscious and consuming more healthy food these days. Apart from all the negative impact, there were positive impacts too. Due to the shutdown, the population rate had been showing a decreasing trend, improving the environment, and people have been pursuing new habits, enriching their skill, and have been spending more family time, and have become more health conscious, indulging in physical activity, consuming a balanced diet, and staying fit and healthy. Through all the situation, according to the study of UNESANO, that is the United National Education Scientific and Cultural Report, over 500,000 of schools and colleges were stuck over home in the midst of pandemic. But with the help of technological update and education cycle would continue, the technology and e-commerce had played a very vital role in uplifting all the sectors of the economy through the hard hit of COVID. Coming to an end, we all know how pandemic had affected our life, but it does not mean that we have to stop living. Life is all of hurdles, and we are the one who have to cross them and in order to achieve success. And also, we should remember that after every dark night, there is a bright sunny morning. And I would request all of you to follow all the norms, Sanitize everything, mask always on, follow social distancing, stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Thank you everyone for contributing your precious time with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshita. We next have Jayvardhan Shukla.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Jayavardhan Shukla from Modern School. As we all know about the COVID-19 pandemic, so I will not start with it. I will be starting straight to the topic, and that is how COVID-19 affected our aspect of life. COVID-19 affected our day-to-day life very rapidly. Many people started feeling depressed. People became health conscious. COVID-19 also changed our lifestyle and education system. It also hit the economy very harshly. The most essential aspect of daily life which were disturbed during the pandemic are health and its issues, mental health, education system, social disruption, economy and households, lifestyle and quality of life. During the pandemic, many people became health conscious and started having a proper healthy diet and by not consuming junk food. People started practicing yoga and cycling was also a new trend during the COVID-19. Mental health. As the pandemic sweeps across the globe, it introduced a degree of fear, worry, and concern. Due to this, people started feeling depressed and faced many anxiety issues. To fight the anxiety issues, people started practicing yoga and meditation. Education system and online classes. The pandemic has made education system to adapt learning online. By this, education system became global. But the greatest disadvantage of this is that not everyone can afford the devices and internet connection for online education. Social disruption. The social disruption caused by the pandemic was devastating. Millions of people are at risk of falling into extreme poverty. The number of undernourished people currently estimated 690 million till date. It will increase till 800 millions by the end of the year. The economy and households. The economic disruption due to the pandemic was fearful. According to the stats, 97% of people agreed that their income has decreased. The unemployment rates increased very rapidly. In both rural and urban areas, households were forcefully pushed to the poverty line by the pandemic. Lifestyle and quality of life. It has changed rapidly during the pandemic. The economic recession had a huge impact on it. As the income of almost everyone decreased and unemployment rates increased, the quality of life will also decrease. People had to choose a lifestyle where they cannot meet their relatives. Many people uh, added physical and mental exercises to their lifestyle. Lastly, I would like to conclude on a serious note. If everything is lost, the future still remains. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jayvardhan. We next have Anushka Gupta.
A very warm and healthy good morning to one and all present here. I am Anushka Gupta of 12C from Modern School, Nagpur. I am going to present and talk about the impact of COVID-19 on people's outlook towards the life. COVID-19 was identified in 2019 in Wuhan, China. The COVID-19 pandemic has spread with alarming speed, infecting millions and bringing economic activities. To reduce the speed of its spread, many countries slowed down their economies and enforced pronounced restriction on public life. Many teachers are digitalizing the classroom, offering online education as all schools are closed during lockdown. The lockdown has affected approximately 600 million students worldwide. All education system of the entire world is ruined due to COVID. The pandemic situation has spread as a global pandemic disease which is creating fear, stress, minimizing social network and tension. Loneliness increase the risk of mental health problems. It is very hard to manage. Public health restrictions caused by COVID-19 have led to cancelled festival, concert and other events. Since early February, malls, retail stores, cinema halls witnessed a huge dip in footfall with 20 to 25% drop in revenue. Good nutrition is crucial for health, particularly in the times of COVID. For controlling the spread of COVID, immune system of people should remain strong. So they started taking immune boosting tonics. The global outbreak of coronavirus disease 2019 have significant effect on environment. It improves air quality in different cities across the world and reduces the pollution which makes the environment clean and clear. In the context of COVID-19, many businesses have reflexively adopted one or both types of innovation, resulting in new capabilities they can further refine and strategically deploy in future. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected the world in various ways. Challenge and adversity are meant to help you know who you are. Storms hit your weakness but unlock your true strength. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Anushka. Now I call upon our moderator and the speaker as well, Jhalak Gaur, to present her views.
A very good morning to all. I, Jalak Gaur of Standard 12A, would like to share my thoughts on the topic COVID 19 and its impact on the outlook of people. COVID 19 has changed our lives. Physically, mentally, socially, we all are facing problems due to this virus. In the poster, you can see some of the aspects which are affected due to this virus. It has become a part of our daily routine. The COVID-19 pandemic has affected more than 90% of the global student population, causing one of the largest disruptions in the history of formal education. The effect of COVID-19 was devastating on the world's economy. Many people lost their jobs and livelihood because most of the countries went into nationwide curfew for months. In addition, even the government was badly affected as well as there were no funds with the government as everything was closed. Social distancing seems to be hitting people even more than the scare of the deadly virus. Humans have evolved to be social creatures and are wired to live in interactive groups. Being isolated from family, friends, and colleagues can be unbalancing and traumatic for most people and can result in short or even long term physical and psychological health problems. An increase in levels of anxiety, aggression, depression, forgetfulness, and hallucinations is a possible psychological effect of isolation. People are getting highly impatient despite social media connectivity. During the lockdown, more than 400 deaths were reported by the media, with the reasons ranging from starvation, suicides, exhaustion, road and rail accidents, police brutality, and denial of timely medical care. In such situations, like in COVID, people may either help others in their worst or can take advantage of them. It is known to everyone that many people were in great need of beds, oxygen cylinders, and proper medical care. Many helped, but most took advantage. There were cases of black marketing and thefts, which is sad. We also saw that how in this period birds and animals were free to roam anywhere and everywhere and humans were trapped in cages. They say that nature will take care of you if you take care of nature. True. At the end, I would like to read a beautiful quote which says that the preservation of health is easier than the cure for the disease. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jhalak. Now I call upon our moderator, Jhalak, to propose vote of thanks, but before that, she'll invite Anuradha ma'am.
Anuradha ma'am, your valuable tips will go a long way in shaping our personalities.
Thank you, dear students. I was really very impressed. In fact, today I'm very happy to be a part of this symposium, and moreover, I was truly impressed with all your presentations, the Nepal school and even modern school. All the children, it really made me happy that all of you have been so much aware when this pandemic, or I should say this ongoing pandemic, is there, and all of you have contributed in a wonderful way. I think almost all the points have been covered. The impact of COVID-19 and the outlook on people's lives. The very topic has been explained by each and every student in their own presentations in a wonderful way. Some of the PowerPoint presentations were beautifully explained with the help of images. So I really should, pat your back for all this. Secondly, I also feel, children, that this is a very good platform to showcase your skills. It's a wonderful way of interacting globally because you have set an example where we have India and a school which is outside India, who is participating. So likewise, this platform needs to be strengthened where you will have, schools worldwide coming on this platform for interaction. This also gives, confidence to face the audience and do away with stage fear. So in future too, all of you dear students should not hesitate to participate in such workshops, seminars, and today's symposium as you have attended. It also improves your communication skills. My only request to you dear students is that whenever you prepare your presentations, it is very important for you to rehearse them. Rehearsal is a part and parcel of your presentation, because till the time you don't rehearse, you don't practice, you cannot reach near to perfection performance. So you all did a great job. You have covered almost all the aspects of COVID-19, its impacts on people's lives, which were anticipated, and how it has impacted people's life and well-being and the outcomes of that. You covered the income and wealth, the financial insecurity. You covered the work and job quality, the crisis with, which was hit low, the crisis which has hit low paid and insecure jobs. You covered the housing, the poor conditions which have put people at greater risk. The subjective well-being, where you covered the anxiety, stress, and risks to mental health. Then you talked about social connections, which is a vital lifeline, I should say, in the lives of people. You also spoke about environmental quality, which is a helping hand from falling pollution and access to green space. You talked about safety, the threats which come from near and far. Then you also covered, or maybe you may have missed out somewhere, but yes, on the whole you covered, you focused on certain vulnerable groups like the elderly people, the women, the children, the youth, and some places and communities that have been left behind. So I have nothing special to say because you did it. You really made the symposium a very interesting platform, and I wish I get many more such opportunities to be a part of such symposiums, and we have a wonderful, a discussion ground where we can really have an exchange of thoughts. So it was wonderful being with you, dear students. And once again, I would like to thank the organizers for having, conducted such a wonderful program. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
I, Jhalak Gaur, on behalf of Modern School, extend a really hearty vote of thanks to our keynote speaker, Mrs. Anuradha Sardesh Pandey, who spared time from her busiest schedule to grace the occasion. Today, we had an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely be going to encourage us in our future. I'm thankful to Principal of Sudesha School, Ms. Birangana Maharajan, Coordinator Mr. Agni Prasad Timilsana, and Activity in Charge Mrs. Binda Thapa, who joined us today from Nepal. We were also honored to perform under our dynamic director, Ma'am, Mrs. Neeru Kapai, Principal Ma'am, Ms. Rupali Dey, Manager Sir, Mr. Rohan Kapai, and IDS coordinators, Mrs. Shabana Ali and Mrs. Rizwana Ali. Under their able guidance, we were able to conduct today's symposium. I also would like to thank each and every participant who presented their posters and PowerPoint presentations so beautifully. At the end, I would like to thank Mahendra sir for leading the technical team, all who directly or indirectly contributed to make this program happen, and all the listeners for attending today's symposium so patiently. Thank you so much.
I, Rizwana Ali, would like to appreciate the efforts put in by the teachers and participants of Modern School India and Sudesha School Nepal, who made this session informative for all of us. We look forward to more such successful sessions ahead. Thank you.